Yo, welcome back to another edition of This Week in the XFL. And as always, I am the referee calling it right down the middle. It's been a slow news week. We're still waiting on those last two coaches, but we got a little bit of news. Not much, but a little bit here. So first, the XFL kind of opened up on Twitter and showed us what their new office space looks like. And again, not the greatest news, not the most interesting news, but I will tell you this, it looks delicious looking. Those are some sweet looking offices, and I would love to be in one of those bad boys. Now, I was hoping to look for some hints. I noticed that we had some football helmets up on the shelf. All of them are blank, so no hints there. Did see some standing desks. That is some modern stuff. And all in all, it looks clean. Like I said, the XFL is doing everything right this time. Even the little things, including the office space. Now, like I said, it's been a fairly slow news week. So what would an episode of This Week in the XFL be without some AAF news? A boring one, that's what. So as we know, they folded a couple weeks ago. And since then, we've been seeing a slow trickle of, we'll just say, not the kindest news to that organization come through. And, you know, today is no different. Darren Rovell is now reporting that AAF's original main investor, Reggie Fowler, he was also trying to buy the Vikings, I believe, at some point. He's being charged with bank fraud and by the IRS and the FBI. So, you know, that's not good news. Now, this is the same investor that backed out after the first couple weeks before Tom Dum Dum came in and really screwed things up. So it's still an interesting story here. So Rovell's story goes on to say, the original main investor of the AAF, Reggie Fowler, was arrested Tuesday and charged by the U.S. Attorney's Office of Southern District of New York, which is a big one, the FBI and the IRS with committing bank fraud and operating an unlicensed money transmitting business. So it looks like he faces up to 70 years in the slammer. So that is a possibility, but I wanted to keep you up to date with what's going on with what's left of the AAF, because like I said, we should know who the champion is. The championship game should have been last Saturday. Instead, we're talking about this garbage. So it is what it is. Sign us up into the next topic. So we also have a new XFL hire. It's not a coach, and actually we don't know what he's going to do. But so Matthew Fairburn posted on Twitter that it looks like Gerald Dixon, former pro scout for the Buffalo Bills, you know, probably former colleague of Doug Wiley, is now headed to the XFL. Doesn't say what for, but I assume in some scouting role or maybe an executive role there. So sign him up. Welcome to that team. So good. It's nice to see some more hires. Wish it would have been one of those two coaches there, but we're still seeing some movement. Speaking of movement, looks like the XFL has a new partnership with Levate Sports Ventures to run its ticket sales for the first 2 years. So at least they're planning, again, ahead of that first season here. So basically, Elevate will design and manage the database marketing and ticket sales for the XFL's 8 teams. So Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, St. Louis, Seattle, Tampa, and DC. The financial terms weren't disclosed, but I assume it was something good. It's funny because Elevate, I think, is partially owned by the 49ers and Ticketmaster. So basically, it's nice to see, again, that they're going to have everything rolling. So it seems within the next 90 days, they're going to have all their ticket strategies, their names, their logos, and all of their coaches and things in place by that point. So, hey, keep on moving here. So, I do want to try a new segment out that I like to call Fact or Fiction. So down in our Discord, you can check out the link down in the description there. A lot of like-minded XFL fans chatting every day. It was brought to our attention that there's a new Twitter account called @XFL2. Basically, they're talking about the XFL moving to Alabama. And originally, I just kind of brushed the idea off, but since there's been so much commotion and I've seen a lot of traction on Twitter and especially down in our Discord, I figured, you know what, I'll investigate this. So, looking at his account, it looks like the first tweet was made on April 8th. It was just a retweet from the XFL talking about their coaches being at the Spring League. He says, hey, we're one day closer to relaunch, right? And that was just the first tweet, nothing specific there. Now, it's the second tweet to where it gets a little bit more interesting, right? He posts a picture of the new football stadium being built in Birmingham, Alabama for the 2021 World Games, right? That's where it starts to get a little ominous. But at the end of it, he specifically says the new XFL team coming back to Birmingham. And I think that's where a lot of the speculation started happening, right? And again, this could just be a guess. This could just be somebody making it up, right? Or just having a little bit of fun with the internet. But as he started tweeting more, or they, we don't know if it's a he or a she, they started to get more confident, saying that they had insider information that was saying that they knew the XFL was indeed looking at expansion. And not for the future years, for the first year, and announcements would be being made soon. Now, I would say that's when my interest peaked just a little bit, and I wanted to get to the bottom of that scoop, so I slid into his DMs, and I asked him a few questions. So I DM'd him. I said, hey, just wanted to reach out to see if you could give me some more info on what you heard about this Birmingham move. I haven't heard of this yet, and usually somebody would have dropped a line to me by now, right? So that was my message to him. And basically he says, man, I'm going to tell you this. I'm supposed to go work for the XFL in Houston until the franchise moves to Birmingham. I literally got it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. One of the gentlemen that currently works for them in the office is pretty much all he can tell me. It's a very volatile situation for a lot of reasons. Basically alludes to the fact that since the AAF folded, this may be delaying some of these decisions. Now, a couple things did jump out at me, right? So he mentioned that he's going to work for XFL Houston. And I've spoke to some of the folks in the XFL, and I know at least for a fact they're not starting any of the hiring for the XFL Houston team until they have the president in place. And maybe he knows something or they know something I don't, but to my knowledge, there is no president in place yet. Still waiting for that coach as well. Come on, XFL Houston, give a brother a break. Either way, regardless, I'm going to press X to doubt on that one. But basically, he wants to now know why I'm asking him. And I said, hey, look, to be honest, this has been the talk of the down in the Discord. Like I said, link down in the description there for XFL 2K. And I basically go on to say, look, I run XFL 2K. It's the largest XFL news site on the internet, much larger than the other guys. There is larger podcasts for sure, but as far as websites, we're numero uno. So I said, oh, it's interesting. Hey, if you're in Houston, let's go kick back a drink. I'll hang out with some XFL fans. Then the backpedaling begins. So I'm not going to dox them and say where they're from, but they're definitely not from Texas or the Houston area. They don't have a job. They're maybe moving if they get the job. I'll leave it up to you. But as far as me, my professional opinion is...
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up. Not this time. Wrong. Not this time. Not this time. You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.